Hey,
hey,
hey, I'm
Ken.
Johnny. How you doing?
Welcome, pal. Welcome, pal. Right, what machine are you using at the moment, pal?
I use a Deus One.
Oh,
A
okay. How are you finding that then?
Lovely. I used to have a an 80 Gold, which I got on real good with, but I got a problem with the old shoulder, so I got the Deus One because of the weight of it, basically with the high
What have
frequency
you had
foil.
before then? What was your previous machines then, Ken?
I'm sorry,
What other machines have you had?
the 80 Gold.
All right. Is that the only two you just generally had then?
That's it, 80 Gold, and then I got the, as I say, the Deus One. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, right. Well, what kind of history? Well, tell us where exactly in the USA you are
I'm
and the
in South
history around that area.
Columbia, South Carolina.
Oh,
And
nice.
that's near Charlestown. That's where the ships all came in years and years ago. And so a lot of the history where we like to detect is down in Charleston and Beaufort, where the ships were, and as in Charlestown, as in King Charles Town, it's called Charleston.
Oh,
And that's where a lot of slaves were brought in back in the day.
oh dear.
So
Right.
a lot of history is down there that way where the big homes were or estates were where they had the slaves. So that's what basically when we go detecting, that's what we're looking for, or things from the Civil War.
Oh, right. And so would you sort of have a mixture of finds in it? I suppose you get a bit of British finds there, would you?
Yeah, all sorts of finds, and also where we're detecting out there, just as in metal detecting, we also find Indian artifacts quite a lot as well.
Oh,
That's pretty
what kind of things?
like pottery and arrowheads,
Right.
and
Oh.
that's pretty nice to find.
And
And
so
some,
what have you found yourself then, generally? What kind
not a
of
whole
things?
lot. I've only been doing it a few years, and
Oh, right.
a lot of the
What made you
stuff's
get
been
into it then, Ken? What made you get into detecting?
just a friend of mine does it over there, and he said, "Come on, let's go." And so I like the outside
Oh,
life,
okay.
and so that's where I went out and joined him and got the bug, and then got my
Right.
80 Gold, and then got the Deus, and I enjoyed the Deus very very good. Yeah.
Yeah, happy. Yeah. What groups are you associated with then?
Over there, none over there. Just friends.
No, okay. You just got
Just
friends that you go out with.
over here, over there. Yes, friends I
Yeah,
just go out with. I've got
yeah.
one gentleman friend. Is a good mate of mine. He's 85, and another guy is 87, and another guy is 93.
All right, okay. All
And
right.
I'm 68, and I'm the baby of them all. So they've been
Yeah,
doing it for years,
yeah.
and they teach me a whole lot about metals detecting, and they know the history. They know
Yeah.
when there was this particular civil war and where the battle was, who the colonel was, how many people died on the first week of the battle, and they know all that sort of stuff. So I learned
What
a
was
lot
the
of
name
it.
of the battle then? Would you know?
All different sorts of battles, like
Oh,
the Battle of Camden. In actual fact, the Battle of Camden was 1726 or something like that,
wow.
1727. And in actual fact, I was up there about 2 months ago when they was exhuming the body because the Brits were there, of
Uh-huh.
course, and they exhumed the bodies, and I was invited up there when the coroner's office was there, and the archaeologists were there, and the local police and the local government bodies, and it was a closed shop, and I was invited up there by a good friend of mine, and when they was exhuming the bodies, and then about 3 or 4 weeks ago, they gave them a proper burial. They was British and Scottish, and they had lots of dignitaries from the UK and Scotland, and they reburied these guys from 200 years ago, basically.
All right.
And that's called the Battle of Camden, Camden. Camden.
Right.
If you want to look that up, you'll be able to see the service that they've done, and they've done a big old memorial up there for them. But there was, I think, more likely maybe 500 or 600 people at the service. It was very. I wasn't there myself, but it was
No.
very interesting. No, I
All
didn't go.
right.
I was
Well,
elsewhere.
what did your friends find then? Would you know what did you find? Have you found anything interesting yet?
Just regular buttons, Civil War buttons. I've never found a buckle, a USA or US buckle or breastplate is a good thing to find. It's like the da da da. But I've never found. But good friends of mine have found. They've found swords. They've found bayonets. They'll find
nice.
all sorts of rifles, and some of the stories my old buddies have told me. It's just been wonderful to listen never mind detecting, just to listen to the stories, how they came about, and they've gone onto the old plantations and found a lot of stuff.
Oh, I bet that's good fun.
I mean, 60-pound cannonballs as big as your head, and then they've gone along and they thought they kicked a root, and it was the scabbard of a sword. And they picked that up, and there was that much left of the blade and things like that.
Oh man!
And
that's brilliant.
Bayonets. Yeah. Yes. And
what areas have you gone beyond your town, or is it just more or less stayed around your own area? Have you travelled?
Oh yeah, there's some. The nearest place that I go up my way is really to Camden, up that way. Camden, and go down to Beaufort, Charleston, which is like a 2-hour journey. And that's where the main history is down there. But there's a lot around our way, but you just can't get the permission. As you guys have got the problems over here getting permission, we've got the same problems over there.
What have you got any funny stories to tell us, or your friends have told you any funny stories, or what happened to you?
Well, when I go out here, like I've been out for a couple of days with Brian, just flitting around a couple of these different sites, and I just wear little boots up my heel about that big. But over there, we have to wear the snake boots pretty much, because you're detecting, and there's lots of snakes out there, and there's snakes, and there's big old spiders, and then you've got mosquitoes. So you could throw a saddle on some of the mosquitoes, are so bloody big. Or you squat one on your face, you think you've got a big hole in your face, but it's not. It's just when the blood of the mosquito is so big. But the snakes, a good friend of mine was walking up to this old house, and I saw these leaves were moving on their own, and I didn't understand how come these brown leaves were moving on their own, and it wasn't the leaves moving. There was a snake underneath the leaves, and he just went to his car and got his 20 gauge shotgun and shot it like that. But lots of snakes that you're in the grass, maybe foot high grass, not thick grass, but grass, and you'll see a snake just go along the side of you. But you just got to have your snake boots on and be cautious. You go into the woods and you always think about, and of course they're not just on the floor; they're in the trees. They can fall down on you from the trees. And a good buddy of mine was going to a site. He's got a canoe, and he was going to a site in the swamp, and off he went, and he's going along there, and the snake fell down from a tree into his boat, and he got a shotgun and aluminum, as they call it, aluminium boat, and he shot a hole in the bottom of the boat, shooting his snake. It came up the back of his engine. Another guy, it came up the back of his engine and went inside the boat, and he shot it, but he didn't sink the boat.
But it must have been a poisonous snake then. I mean,
well, a snake's a snake, isn't it? You know.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, because well, they are, but some are a bit more lethal than others. I'm sure. Yeah.
But if they fall on you or they come up close to you, you just want to get them out of the way. But there's a particular snake called a cottonmouth, and in its mouth,
vicious.
They come after you. Them things, most of them, they would go away from you. Yeah, if you're fishing. Actually, I saw a thing just the other day. A guy was fishing, and it's happened to me as well. You're fishing and you're reeling the fish in, and the cottonmouth will come after the fish.
Wow.
Yeah, they if you're in the water,
they're swimming as well. Then a lot of these. Well,
you can normally tell from a poisonous snake. A poisonous snake will keep his head above the water, and a non-poisonous will be in the water like that. That's the rule of thumb. That's the rule of thumb, but I wouldn't trust it necessarily. No. Don't sue me.
A rough idea.
Yeah. But I'm originally, I haven't got an accent, of course, American, because I'm originally from West Wickham, Croydon, Shirley area. So, but I've been in the States for 27 years now. So,
you're over here visiting family then?
Visiting family.
Have you been anywhere else then with other people, or just with Brian at the moment?
Yeah, I got my family live in Chelsea near Chichester. Okay. And I go out with the SES group, SES, and that's Clive and Sarah. They're good people, and they've got some good sites.
Yeah, I'll have to link up even more now, then, Ken, now that you're a blood relation.
That's it, yeah. And also hailing detector, like Hailing Island. There's a guy called Wayne Trumper. I met him when I was going with SES group, and he started up his own group, and he's become a good friend, and I hook up with him as well because that's closer to me in Chelsea.
Yeah.
And yeah, good people.
Oh, yeah, brilliant, is that? Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So are you sticking with the Deus one then? You never thought about getting the Deus 2 then? Or...
I got one, but it's above my pay grade. I couldn't get my head around it, tell the truth. I didn't know anyone with the Deus 2 to really help me through with it, but I did try, and I've got a problem with my shoulder. That's why I used the high frequency coil, the white high frequency coil, which is that much lighter. I should have had my joint and my shoulder there replaced a couple of years ago, but I didn't, and I'm putting up with it. I pop a pill before I go detecting, but I did try the weight of it, and that difference in weight did make a difference to my shoulder. I mean, with that Deus one, with that coil, the white coil, I can beep all day long, and it's not a problem. Well, you get all different conflicting stories. I mean, on the 6 or 8 digs I've been on since I've been over this time, people who've been a lover of the Deus one have told me they are categorically finding more stuff with the 2 than they ever did with the 1. But then again, I'm digging with the 1 and I'm seeing people digging with the 2, and the people with the 800 and the 900 are finding stuff 3 and 4 inches deeper than what we're finding.
Yeah.
And then the Manticore again is another story again. So
yeah, I've got them both, and I've got to be honest, I love them. I found some awesome stuff with both machines. I alternate the machines every so often. The Manticore is a very sharp, brilliant machine. It's got different tones, and it gives you an idea of roughly a better idea of what's in the ground. Go on then, yeah. I think we're still.
I just want to say hello to Susan Gibson, my girlfriend.
Susan Gibson.
Susan
Is there
Gibson.
anybody else you want to say hello to?
She's in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and of course my sister Pam and my brother Bernie and my dad Eric.
All right, it's a family. Hello,
and
hello, guys over there in the USA,
and all the guys and girls in the SES group and Hailing Detected and Georgie.
Right. Okay.
That's about it. I'll let you run now.
Okay,
I appreciate
it.
Good talking to you. Thank you.
Really?